I hope you people are seeing the screen. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. So here we'll be proceeding. I think there is no problem with the sparse matrix also. I have informed you people to go to the fast transpose of a sparse matrix and come up with the solution that why it has been called as fast transpose and how it differs with the general transpose of a sparse matrix algorithm. Okay, so all those things we have discussed. This was been considered as a homework to take up the question on the sparse matrix. Okay, so I hope you people have done this homework. I'll not ask today. Maybe it will get to know in the next class where the exam is being scheduled. So let's move for today's class on the union. So what do you understand when I say a particular word union means? Yes, guys, union means. May have heard the word union at many places. So whether there is any relation between that union and this kind of union, what do you mean by union in a dictionary? Yes, please. Sorry, not audible. Okay, fine. That's the problem with your class. You people are not speaking anything. So which makes me to move ahead like this only. So it just like it is again where you can club a different kinds of data structure and use them. Only the difference, if you remember your structure uh, syntax, it looks like the same what we are seeing on the screen. Okay, so it is the same. The difference between the structure and union, see, structure is also combination of it can hold multiple kind of data of a different data structure, different data types. Union also do the same. It can hold multiple kind of data of different data types. So what is the difference between the union and structure, and which one will be the is better in use as per the usage? We will be discussing about this kind of question you can expect in your placements during the placement activities. Okay, so actually union is a special data type available in C that allows storing of different data types in the same memory location. I should say and I should highlight one important point. I'll use the highlighter in that case. It is saying in the same memory location. In the same memory location. Okay. Now you may not understand why I have highlighted this point. See, this is a very important point. In structure, when we have defined a structure, you might have remember. I'll define one structure here. Okay. Let me take up the. I'll move. Okay. If I define a structure, if you know, I'll say struct, which we have discussed struct, and here I let me consider student or std, the name, and let us consider int x, okay, or rn, roll number, okay, then float percentage, and say character array. We will be using character of say I'll give the name as character name of say 100. Okay. Okay. Now what happens here, please guys try to understand how the memory is being allocated in this case. It will create a memory location like this. So as integer RNO is going to consume how much bytes of memory, as we have discussed earlier. Yes, it is 4 bytes of memory. So it con this is first RNO, we are giving 4 bytes of memory, then float, again it is going to consume 4 bytes of memory, I will call it as a percentage, and here character name which is of 100 bytes, as every character will consume 1 byte of data, so it is 100, so it will consume this is a name, so 4 bytes of memory, 4 bytes of memory, and this is 100 bytes of memory is going to be consumed. So total for storing one details or details of one student, we are consuming 108 bytes of memory in structure. While in case of union, what is saying, as we have discussed here, okay, as we are discussing here, it is saying instead of having different memory location, it is saying it should store everything in a same memory location, same memory location. Okay, fine. In same what is this means, same memory location? So I'll tell you one thing very important. See, let us assume my memory location is 2000, I'll start with the 2000. This memory location will start from 2004, this start from 2008, and from this 8 to 100, so it goes around 2107. Okay, it is not visible here. So this much. So total 108 bytes of memory we are using. Now here are different memory locations we are giving for different to hold a different data. Okay, these are 108 bytes of data we are allocating in case of structure. Union is not saying like that. Union is saying it allows different types of data, different data types in the same memory location, same memory location, same memory. It has three different locations. If you see, 2000 2003 is the first location. I'll write down here. Say 2000 to 2003 is the first location. 2004 to 7, it is the another location that we have given, and 2008 to 2000 2107 is location 3. Okay, these are the three different locations that we are using to store the structure. Now what in the union say, it is saying it is storing in one of the location, not all, only one. Now the question you may ask, sir, out of these three, is it going to consider only one? If so, which is that memory location? So you can define a union with many members, but only one member sound. This is the very important point. Once again, we are writing here, but only one member can contain a value at given time. At given time. At given time. Okay, I'll take up this question in different way. Unions provide an efficient way of using the same memory location for multiple purpose. For multiple purpose. See guys, now what happens here, I'll tell you directly over here. If I make the union, if I make the union here, okay, say union instead of structure, say student. Again, I'll write int RNO float percentage and say character name of 100. I'm writing a little bit faster because we have already written these things, so I hope you will not mind to understand the concept. Now it is the union. I don't know why people are coming late and disturbing the class. Muhammad Adnan. Okay. Okay. Now what happens here? As it is union, what is saying, it consider only one memory location. So out of this is going to be take the 4 bytes This is also going to take the 4 bytes. This is going to consider 100 bytes. Now can you tell me which of these location I should take so that all of these things can be applied, all of these can utilize that particular memory location? 4 bytes or 100 bytes? What do you say?
100 bytes.
Sorry?
100 bytes.
100 bytes. Yes. May I know why it is better? You are absolutely correct. I just wanted to know why you are saying 100 bytes.
So because its size is more and we can contain our 4 bits in 100 bits.
Yeah, very good. And the explanation is also correct. Say if I given the 100 bytes of memory, and please mind, it is not bits, where it is bytes, okay? And see, 100 bytes of memory if I reserve, I can easily store these 4 bytes of memory also. Even I can store these 4 bytes of memory also, and these 100 bytes of memory also. Only the problem is we cannot club or we cannot store them together at same location at same point, not at the same at any given time. We have to use the same memory location at different time to allocate these different memories, these different. Say if I want to store RNO, I'll utilize this memory location only when it is empty. When this memory location is empty, I can use the percentage. If I want to use the memory location to store certain values of percentage, I can utilize this if it is empty, if it is not been utilized by any of the either RNO or name. Okay, so instead of using 108 bytes of memory, we are able to use only the same, we are able to do the same thing only in the 100 bytes of memory location. So that's what the third point it is say union provide is an efficient way of using the same memory location. We are using the same memory location for multiple purposes. Now, can you tell me, this is one of the advantage. Can you able to highlight what are the disadvantages to have the union also instead of go for structure? Is there any disadvantages you are able to see? Yes, students, is there any disadvantages that you can observe over here? Whether did you understand the concept of if you are, or if you have any doubts, please you are free to ask any doubts over here. Okay, fine. Your silence has told me that you need to go further. Fine, then. We'll be moving ahead, and I'll be taking up directly. I'll go first and take the example of structure. Please, guys, you will be understanding here the concept very well. I need the answers from you people. So, as and when you will be asked, you can unmute your mics and explain me the concept here. See, I'm using a structure. Okay, item, I'm giving the name as item. So here are the three variable x, y, and character ch. Okay, x, so memory location x, y, one memory location y, and character ch. Okay, so we are, as it is a structure, we are able to see we are storing different kinds of elements of different data types, right? Fine. So in the, okay, okay, I'll just make one change here. Keep, instead of union, I'll make it a structure. Okay, that is better. Yeah, yeah, that is, this is better. Just save it. Yeah, fine. Come here. So struct item IT. I have created one variable IT of item, and if I do item dot x, it means what? In the dot variable we have already discussed, to access the data member of a structure variable we will be using dot operator. So to access this x of the variable it, which is a part of item, so item dot x or it dot x we are able to see, and this to 12 will be stored in this. So I will say this 12 is stored in X. In the same fashion, this 20.2 is stored here in the, and one character is stored in CH. Okay. Now if I do this IT printf percentage D percentage F percentage C and respective, can you tell me what will be the outputs in this case? Guys, output for this statement?
12.
12. Very good. Yes, it is correct. Then output for this statement?
20.2.
20.2. Next output for this statement?
A.
Okay, right. The thing what is happening over here, as we have defined this as a structure, what happens at the memory location, how the memory is being created, it goes like this. Okay, so this 4 bytes of memory we have given for X, the next 4 bytes of memory we have given for Y, and this only 1 byte of memory, let us assume, okay, let us assume this has a 1 byte of memory we are given for CH. Okay, so this is, if I start with the memory location 2000 to 2003 is the memory location allocated for X. 2004 to 2007 this memory location is allocated for Y, and 2008 to 2009, okay, this memory location is allocated for character. So the 12 is been stored in the memory location first, that is 2000 to 2003. This 20.2 is allocated for this 2004 to 2007, and this A, as only one character we are storing, it will be stored under the location 2008 to 2009, 1 byte of memory. Okay, so when we are accessing through its respective locations. Please understand this problem, because I'll be taking you to the next level of union. Hope you understood the structure, guys. Is there any problem? We already discussed these things in the previous classes. It is very useful for me to understand this union also. That's why I have come back and I have taken this example. Okay, shall I proceed then? Okay, thank you. So this was your answer. It seems it is 12, 20.2 and A. Yes, it is correct, right? Now let us move with the example of a union. Okay, please try to understand what I am doing. I use okay, it is getting a little bit problem. We are coming back with this. Just a minute, guys. Yeah. Okay. So we have discussed, we have got this. Now let us assume how this union is doing. Okay, in the same way what we have discussed with the structure, we are considering the same example. Okay, but instead of structure I'm creating an union. Instead of structure I'm creating a union. That's it. Okay, now you should understand the difference in very well manner. Okay, so here int X, float Y and character CH. This is going to consume 4 bytes of memory, this is going to consume 4 bytes of memory, and this is going to consume 1 bytes of memory. Okay, now what is happens, it always takes maximum space out of this. What is the maximum space out of this 441? It is
4 bytes.
4 bytes. So it reserve, instead of reserving 4 plus 4 plus 1, which we used to reserve in structure, in the previous example it has reserved 9 bytes of memory, but here we are, if I start with the 2000 to 2003, that is only 4 bytes of memory it is going to reserve. Maximum of all the data members we have, we will be utilizing that much only space. That is the union is saying, and we are going to use the same memory location. We are not going to create different memory location, guys. That's what the union is telling us to use it. Okay, so 2000 2003 and all the operation has to be performed on the same memory location. There is no separate memory location to hold X, Y, and character. We will be creating only one memory location, and on that only we are utilizing the things. Okay, please have a look to understand this type. Now, in the main, we have considered we are creating an variable of item. Item is having three things. Now, please try to understand, guys. This is very important concept that I'm going to teach you over here. Now, it.x, we have only one memory location. So, first, in the first case, this 12 will be stored, right? Now 12 will be stored at the location 2000 to 2003. Now again it.y, we are storing 20.2. Guys, what will be the answer? What, where it will store 20.2?
double, sir, 2001.
2001, huh? Man, if you know, integer, we have stored this x value as an integer which is going to consume 4 bytes of memory. So 4 bytes of memory in the sense 2000 to 2003. 4 bytes. You cannot say 2001. It is not a character which is going to hold 1 byte of memory. Where this 220.2 will store? At what location? It is going to store on the same location because we have reserved only one memory location, guys. That is 2000 to 2003. So it cannot store 12 as well as 20.2. You know the concept of overwriting. So it will remove this 12 and it will say 20.2. I'll be storing. I'll be there. So this 12 is been removed from this memory location and 20.2 is been taking its position. Okay, and at the last, again int cha. Now what happens, where it will store? It will again store at the same memory location because we have one memory location. So what happens, chalo baba tum niklo, abhi we will be utilizing this space. Understanding class, how the memory representation and well as how we are going to access them is very important to know. Any problem? If not, you give me the answer for this then. If you understand, can you able to tell me these answers? The printing of these values it.x, it.y and it.ch. Now actually what value it is holding 2000 to 2003? Which element is storing now?
A.
Plus, sorry?
A.
A. Very good. Now if I access if I want to print percentage d it.x, what it will give? It is
Garbage.
holding, it is holding A and you are accessing percentage d matlab integer value. It
Garbage.
will be the garbage value. Exactly, very good. Because at this memory location it has a character and you are going to access the integer value. So it will give some garbage value. I'll write GV as a garbage value. You know the garbage value is anything. Now what about this second statement? Actually it is a character and you are going to access the floating value. Again you may get the, or you will get the garbage value. What about the third statement, guys? it.ch, what you will be getting here?
A.
A, right? So this is what your answer. These are nothing but your garbage values. These are nothing but your garbage values. Okay, and this is your actual answer A. Hope you understood. We are accessing only one memory location instead of getting using different memory location to access the different kinds of data members. Okay, now if I make one change in this, I'll just remove everything. Okay, whether you understood, guys, you understood the concept. Is there any drawback over this? Are you finding any drawback? What was that?
So we can't print all of them at once.
Okay, beta. I'll give the answers for this also. Okay. Now let us assume we have one memory location as we have discussed. It is from 2000, okay, to 2000. 3. As the student has said, what I'll do one thing first. What happens at this memory location? 12 is being stored, right? I hope everybody is agree with this. What I'll do, I'll use this printf statement here only. After this, what I'll be getting, guys? May I able to print the 12? This printf statement which I am using here, if I use it here, whether am I getting the 12 as an output?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you are successfully able to print the first value. Okay, then after printing the 12, what I'll be doing, I'll be calling the function, or I'll be using this statement it.y equals to 20. So as we understood, there will be overwritten. This 20.2 is overwritten over 12. Now it is holding the 20.2. Now what I'll do, I'll use this second printf statement which is printing the y value after this line. What it will print, guys?
20.
Will it print
20.2.
Yeah, very good. So it has successfully printed the second value also. So we have utilized x, we have successful print, we have successful. Then after that, I'll be using cha. Okay, so this is gone. Then a I'm able to successfully store in the same memory location. We have not used the different memory location, guys. You please keep it in mind. We are utilizing in the same memory location. And after this, if I use the third statement over here, what you will be able to print successfully? A. So I hope I have given the answer for the question which you have raised. That was your observation. We have successfully able to print all the values which your structure was able to print. It was able to take up here the memory location, the total size it was required is 09 bytes of memory, and the same work we are doing in only 4 bytes of memory, guys. In the previous example we used to use 9 bytes of memory. Here we are using only in 4 bytes of memory. So tell me, which one will be better to use, structure or union?
Union.
Union. If you say union, I'll take you to some other example also. Okay, again it's got hang. Just give me a say 30 seconds. Close the program. We'll come back. Yeah. Okay, so if it is a union, then tell me, if I'm printing all the values together, will it print as we have got? First it was a garbage values, for second it was also garbage value, and at the last we have got the A. So if we are accessing all the printf together, it will not. So there is a certain advantages as well as disadvantages also over union, and when you compare union and structure, if you understand this, I'll take you back to the certain differences between the structure and union. Now this question used to ask for 4 marks in VTU examination. The differences between structure and union. See the keyword. First I'll take up you to the keyword. Here we'll be using struct as a keyword for the structure, and here we are using union as a union keyword. The size. Now this is very important differentiation point. When a variable is associated with a structure, the compiler allocates the memory for each member. Please, this is very important one. For each member, the compiler is allocating the memory. Why? Okay, let me finish it. The size of the structure is greater than or equal to the sum of all its members. Okay, and now please try to understand the union point, which is very important. When a variable is associated with union, the compiler allocated the memory by considering the size of the largest memory, which you people have told me when I have taken the example of 4 byte, 4 byte and 100 bytes. You have told it is better to use 100 bytes of memory. That's how the union is working. It takes the maximum or the largest memory, only one memory. Okay, it is not going to consider different memory locations. So the size of union is equal to the size of largest. It was sum of all. It is the sum of all. It is the largest. This is very important point. Next, over the memory. Each member within a structure is assigned unique storage location. This is what unique storage location, as I mentioned, L1, L2, L3. When we have discussed the previous example of integer, float, and character, I said 2000, 2003 is the first memory location, 2004, 2007 is the second memory location, and 2008 to 2107 was the third memory location. So in the structure, it was considering three different locations, while in the union, it will consider only one memory location. So memory allocated is shared by individual memory union. Okay, value altering the value of a memory will not affect the member, but here it will affects. So altering the values of any altering the value of any of the member will alter the member values. Okay, accessing individual memory we can access at a time. Here one member can be accessed at a time. Okay, as we have discussed, otherwise you will be getting garbage value, and at the last you will be getting a value, right? So it is when you are using the union, it is better when you have you have made some kind of processing on that memory location. At that time only you are supposed to access the result. Otherwise, if that memory location is being utilized or used by the some other variables, it is very difficult. You will not able to make the previous results over there. Okay, initialization of a members, several members of a structure can initialize at once, but as I mentioned here, only the first member of union can be initialized. Okay, so these are the certain differentiation point between structure and union. If you have any doubt, please ask me, or we'll moving towards the next topic of today's agenda. That is our dynamic arrays we'll be discussing. Okay, then. I understood. I hope there is no doubts. So we will be moving forward then with the dynamic arrays. Before taking up you to the dynamic arrays, we should know that static arrays first. Okay, there are the certain problems that we are facing with the static arrays. I'll ask you one thing here also. Say I'm defining int a of size 5. Okay, and I'm initializing certain things. This is going to, okay, I'm assigning some values. Say let us assume 1, 2. This is what the problem. Okay, 2, 3. Okay, let us say I have initialized 3 values. So how it will be? It looks like this, guys. I think if I'm not wrong, it goes like this: 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? And this is the name A. I probably did one. Okay, now the first value, as it is a 5 memory location, first value will be stored at A of 0, next value will be A of 1, and this, and these are kept blank. Now if I do one thing, I'll just use the eraser and I'll add some more memory locations, or some more values, say 4, 5, and 6. Now can you tell me how I'm going to store these values? 4, 5. Can I add 6 over here like this? Is it possible, guys?
No, sir.
Why it is not possible?
Sir, we assigned the value, storage for 5 bits. First one in the number.
You have assigned to store the maximum elements 5. You are able, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You are here. You are trying to add 6th element, so it is not possible, right? That was your explanation. That's good. Okay, that is correct. As we have only allocated to store the memory, to store the only 5 elements, we cannot store the 6th element. And The previous was if I make the memory to store the five elements, and if I utilizing only two, there is a wastage of memory. As three elements we can utilize it, we can store the three elements, but we are not utilizing it, so it is completely wastage. So there is a problem to have the um, memory wastage, as well as when I need to use additional element to be added, it is not possible in a static memory. That's what sometimes amount of data cannot be predicted beforehand. We cannot predict how much data or how much elements are going to be stored. Number of data keeps changing during the program execution. Number of data items, okay, number of elements. So that is actually problem with the arrays. To consider that, okay, to avoid the wasteful of memory space, okay, wasteful, and maybe that is the example, maximum value of n may be 10,000, but a particular runway may need among 100 elements, so around 9,900 memories are getting completely wastage, right? So to avoid that, we are coming up with a better solution, that is a dynamic memory allocations. Dynamic memory allocation, as much when you need, you ask, will you demand, will provide. It is just like that. If you need one memory, one element to store, you ask, will give. If you need two elements to be stored, you ask, will provide the space. If you need four, if you need 1,000 elements to store, will give you dynamically. It is going on dynamic, it is not a static. Before program starts, or before you write the program, or before execution of the program, you may not need to know how much data is going to be coming and how much data elements are going to store in your memory. As the program moves, you can demand, and the supply will be, or the demand will be taken up by the your compiler. So you know how much memory is needed after the program is run. Okay, dynamically allocate only the amount of memory is needed. As dynamically allocated only the amount of memory is needed, so there is no concept of wastage of the memory, which was we have discussed here. Okay, here there is no wastage, so that is why it is a better solution. Now if you have already I don't know, I'm not remembering whether this concept is being taught to you in the C programming as a dynamic memory allocation, DMA, where we have discussed about calloc, malloc and realloc, whether this concept was been, whether it was there in your syllabus when you have learned the C programming, dynamic memory allocations, DMAs, students, whether you have remembering any words of calloc, malloc, realloc and free. Yeah, you have gone through this, right? No? Okay, no issues, so we will be taking all those concepts here. I thought you people have gone through all the concept, because when I used to take the C programming for the first year, it was a part of the syllabus. Now it might not be there. So
डायनामिक the और एक कोई तो उनका डिफरेंस था सर.
डायनामिक मेमोरी एलोकेशन and स्टैटिक मेमोरी एलोकेशन का डिफरेंस था.
हाँ.
Okay, fine, no issues. So majority of the students saying they have not gone through. Anyways, we'll be taking up. Don't worry. Okay, once again we'll take up. So actually, there are the 4 functions which will be helping us to make this allocation in dynamic way. Those are calloc. People used to call it calloc. That is here calloc. I used to call it as calloc. People used to call it as calloc. It is malloc. People used to call it malloc and realloc. Okay. Along with that, there is one more function, that is free. Okay. So we'll be discussing them. Don't worry. So malloc or malloc allocates the requested number of bytes and returns a pointer. It returns a pointer to the first byte of allocated space. It allocates the requested number of bytes. How much bytes of memory as you have requested, it will simply allocate and returns a pointer of the first byte of allocated space. See, if you have asked, you require 20 bytes of memory. Okay, so what it does, it allocates the 20 bytes of memory. Let's assume it starts with the memory location 3000. It will be continuous 3019. Okay, it has, so what it does, okay, chalo, I have reserved the 20 bytes of memory for you, and this is the address. Now to hold the address, what data type or data structure we require to hold the address? What data structure we require? Holding the address. To hold the address, what data structure you will be requiring?
Pointer.
It is a pointer. Pointers are the only which can hold the address. So it returns a pointer. So it makes one pointer variable which is holding the 3000, that is starting address of this block 3000, and this 3000 will be given to whoever has demanded these 20 bytes of memory. Okay, hope you understood. Calloc or calloc allocate the space for an array of elements. It initializes them to 0 and then return a pointer to the memory. See guys, calloc is also called as continuous allocation of memory. As we have seen the arrays, it's a continuous memory allocations, continuous, say 2001, 2004, then 2005, 2000. It's a continuous, as we know, the elements are storing, multiple elements are storing in a continuous memory fashion. So whenever you need to use, instead of using 1 byte of, or say to store only one element, if you want to store multiple elements in a continuous fashion, we will be using calloc. If you want to store only one element of different bytes, so you will be using the malloc for one element, I can say. For multiple elements in a stored in a continuous memory fashion, you will be in calloc. Free, actually, in the dynamic, what happens, it creates the memory, and dynamically only as the memories are created in the same fashion, it should be free those memories of those values from that memory location in dynamic way only. So it frees previously allocated space. So free function. There may be possibility that for realloc, it modifies the size of the previously allocated. It may happen, instead of 20 bytes, for the same memory location, I will say 30 bytes of memory. So what it happens, instead of 3000 2019, it may give, okay, चलो आपको 30 bytes of चाहिए, हम थोड़ा space आपको बढ़ा के देते हैं, तो 3000 to 3029. So at that time you require a realloc function. Whether you understood, guys? Realloc, free, calloc, and malloc. Yes? Whether you understood, or shall I repeat once? Or any of the function that you did not understand, so that I can explain you once again.
Sir, repeat realloc.
Realloc, okay. See guys, here I have initially I have given the 20 bytes of memory. Let us assume. So what I'll be doing, now I understood I don't require 20 bytes, so my memory usage is more. So I'll simply, this memory, if I given this say location A, okay, of 20 bytes. Now what I'll say, okay, which was that, I'll be making it as 30 bytes of memory. So this A was holding initially 20 bytes of memory. Now I am reallocating for the 30 bytes of memory. That's how the realloc works. Or it may happen, after allocating, I understood I won't require that 20 bytes of memory. I may require only 10 bytes of memory. So you need to make changes in that. So if you want to modify the size of previously allocated space, here I have allocated previously 20 bytes of memory. Now I need to make either 30 bytes of memory or 10 bytes of memory. It means you have to modify. Then at that moment you will be using realloc. फिर से allocate करो, realloc. Okay. Okay, beta. The usage will be taking one by one when we'll be discussing in depth. As of syllabus concern, we have only the concept of arrays. Okay, so I'll be giving more focused on calloc and free. Yeah, is there any doubts other than this, guys? Okay, See, if I'm allocating a block of memory, we will be using malloc. A block, I'm saying a block, okay, a block of memory. A block मतलब एक ही block चाहिए. So at that time, as I mentioned here in the here, we are going to store only for one element. So malloc will be used. Okay. So how, what is a general format, how we will be doing it. So this is how we will be initializing. So it reserves a block of memory of specified size and return a pointer of type void. The return pointer can be typecasted to any pointer. Okay, general format is here. We are mentioning as it is pointer. So we have defined with the pointer point. Now this is any format you can consider. It can be typecasted like anything. It means say int, maybe float, anything. Whatever the kind of data you want to get in a written format, you can write it down. Imolog byte size. You write down here how much byte you want to reserve for one block. You can simply mention. Okay, just like, please try to understand this example. Now here I want to store 400 bytes of space, because see here I'm considering int, I'm returning int value. Malloc 100 into size of integer. What is the size of integer? We know it is 4. 100 into, so I'm going to store, I require to store 100 elements. 100 elements, 100 elements. Okay, 100 elements to store integer. So 100 into 4, how much? 400. It requires 400, so it is going to allocate the memory 400 bytes. So let us assume these are the 400 bytes of memory. ये पूरा का पूरा एक ब्लॉक जो है, इसने जो रिक्वेस्ट किया था, so we are giving it to the pointer. It is saying okay, return as an pointer, where, so whatever the first memory location, if it is 2000, 399, 2399, so it will be written here, the starting address, the pointer, the starting address of this will be stored here. It will be written to P. So P will be holding the starting address. Hope you understood the malloc, guys. A memory space equivalent to 100 times the size of an integer. So 100 elements, one element is going to consume 4 bytes of memory. So 100 elements going to consume total 400 bytes of memory. So we have reserved 400 bytes of memory space. The address of the first byte of the allocated memory is assigned to the pointer P of type integer. So first memory location we are giving it here. Okay, so in the same fashion, this is what the PTR character pointer, you can consider the character pointer, you can consider any, as I mentioned, it can be typecasted, okay. So the important point, it may, if that blocks of continuous is not allocated, is not possible to have, that is, actually malloc always allocates a block of continuous bytes, continuous. But the problem is now the allocation can fail if the sufficient contiguous memory space is not available. If it is not available, it fails. So to check if it fails, it returns null. To check whether it fails, we are checking out if that pointer is equals to null. We know, we already discussed about this much. Now if this pointer value P equals to null, we will understand it does not have the specific amount of memory in a continuous fashion to be allocated, right? So this is how the malloc works. Okay, we'll be seeing about the malloc in the array fashion also. As it has allocated, we know we can utilize the for loop to access all the memory location, and we have already worked on the pointer also, right? Arithmetic pointers, if you remember arithmetic pointer, that's what I have when we have discussed about the pointer concept in the earlier classes, I told the pointer arithmetic concept also. Okay, let's talk about one example here. Okay, It is very simple example where I am considering a main I and n. I have defined float. It is a pointer height. Okay, it is a pointer height. Float sum equals to 0 and average. Here I am taking input number of students and I am holding in n. Let us assume I am considering 5 students. So height equals to, I am returning the float value. It's again say 5 into size of float. So total 20 bytes of memory it is requesting. 20 bytes of memory it is requesting. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so first value will be here, second, third, fourth, fifth. Okay, and this is stored, the address is stored here. This let us assume it is 2000. So this 2000 is stored here. Now here input heights for the percentage d students. Okay, 5 students. So height of first student, height of second student, height of the, this is an array, right? Height of I. So we are entering into this height of, and at the last we are simply adding the total heights and getting the average by dividing the n. This is how you will be doing it. For free also we have discussed. Anyways, I'll take up the free once we actually start the second module. It, because the usage will be explained there, so we'll be taking up that also. Pointer to pointer concept also I'll be taking. Two-dimensional array, as you people are already aware of two-dimensional array. It is I think we have discussed two-dimensional array, right? Okay, fine. In that case, I think this much we have discussed in the earlier classes. It's already 11:51. So if you have any doubt, please ask me the questions in the upcoming class, as it is already we have taken 2 more minutes for the different class. So I request you, if you have any doubt, you can ask me in the next class. As of